The following is a compLexity production.
1, 2, 3, compLexity!
This is the press conference, streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Oh, you don't be serious, man!
You've got questions, we've got answers. And now, your hosts, compLexity.
Hello and welcome everybody. We're back with another press conference. My name is Skim, I'm your host for today, and I'm very pleased to be joined by these wonderful gentlemen today. He's back from Iceland, he's back from vacation. Beef, how you doing?
I'm good. I think I was here last week. I can't remember.
You were technically here, but you couldn't be on press conference,
Yeah,
unfortunately. You had a speaking engagement.
I had a speaking engagement.
Nope.
All right,
There
well,
you go.
I had my timeline
Busy
mixed
beef.
up.
And as always, we're joined by Jason Lake. How you doing?
Doing great. Doing great.
And to finish it all off, Soren,
I'm good too.
you good too?
Yeah.
Great, because first topic is going to be yours. Let's hop right in to Dota.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up, or a lot of stuff happened in the last week. So first of all, are you just saying Dota and expect me to just?
I mean, I
Dota.
can do the intro for you.
yeah, please.
I think the biggest news for us is the fact that Adam is now actually in the country. His visa's everything went smoothly. He's now here.
Finally.
I wouldn't say it
Well,
went
I would say
smoothly.
Everything went smoothly. Yeah,
Towards the end, it was kind of
It was touch and go.
a smooth 5-month ride. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's finally here.
Yeah, he's finally here. He arrived on I think last Friday, last
Thursday.
Last Thursday. Yeah. Got to play with the team in the two tournaments that we're going to discuss later. He's here for ESL 1 Birmingham, and then at the end on Saturday he leaves the country again, and then we hope that he comes back with us after Paris.
To be clear, there is no concern that he would not be able to come back with us.
I'm just not putting anything
His
past
visa
anything.
is completed. It is stamped. He has it. He's good.
Finally.
We're all happy about it. Like you mentioned, we've already been playing a couple of tournaments, Avengers Cup, Kiichi, Invitational Americas. Team's basically been very, very busy in preparation for both Birmingham qualifiers and, of course, Mumbai.
Yeah, the Birmingham qualifiers are obviously the big one here. Not to take a slide at the American Avengers Cup or Chi. I think it's Chi League. I was told by our Singaporean guys that it's Chi League.
All right.
Cool.
So yeah, that's obviously the big goal, but it's pretty hard sometimes to find good scrim partners or like good practice partners in North America. So we scrim a lot against South American teams, and we saw sign-up sheets for these tournaments, and there were Team was in there, GG&G was in there, Zalotl was in there, and so it made very much sense to join these tournaments to just get good practice in, play like pretty not highest of high stakes, but pretty high stakes games. Get a little bit of cash at the end, hopefully, if we win one of those cups, and get good practice in for the Birmingham one, and then obviously jetting off to Mumbai and hopefully performing better than in Kato.
Like we mentioned previously, we are an ESL team, so I'm very optimistic
like
with this qualifier.
Previously.
We have Birmingham this week, right?
Yeah.
Exciting.
Didn't I not just spend 2 minutes talking about the Birmingham qualifier?
Yeah, I don't know if he said that it was this week.
Okay, it's this week.
Yeah.
It's,
I just wanted to double check. There's a lot of stuff going on.
It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday is the grand finals, and then on Saturday we leave for Mumbai.
Is it single elimination?
No, it's a double elimination. It's 4-team double elimination. So it's us against J Storm in the first round. The other game is forward against Team, with EG being automatically invited to the tournament.
And it's only one slot.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. NA only gets one slot.
All right. Then look forward to that. We'll keep you posted on our socials. And
Yay, Adam.
Yay, Adam. It's celebrating every day. Moving on to CS. Technically, it's happening next week, but we kind of look forward to it. I personally look forward to it already. EPL.
Yeah, we're going out to LA. I think if there's ever a press conference where we don't say the word visa, we're going to have a special party.
Heck yeah.
Rick is stuck in Canada because we're having visa troubles. There's just an article today. Renegades has a player missing because of two players missing because of visa problems. Getting visas is difficult right now, and we're not the only ones kind of in esports that are suffering. But Jordan, n0thing Gilbert is going to be subbing in for us, and very thankful that he lives out in the West Coast and is willing to play, and obviously has a lot of familiarity with the squad as he just played at the major. So yeah, we're going to be using Jordan and our new player Sick, and we'll just see how it goes. It's another example of an unfortunate set of circumstances that leads us to kind of using a sub in the roster. But hopefully we can just go out there and surprise some people and see how it goes.
I think everybody has been really anticipating the arrival of Sick, so I think at the very least we'll be able to see him in action.
He's been in town for almost a couple weeks now. Less than 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So practices have been going pretty well, and excited to see what we can do, even though we have that stand-in.
Yep.
Just to quickly talk about Through the Smoke, we did touch upon it, I think 2 weeks ago, that there was another episode coming out before the sort of like mid-season break sort of thing.
Yep.
Any of you seen it yet? I know it doesn't technically. I think it comes out like in a couple of days, or like after even this press conference releases. But any of you want to?
Yeah, I'm not sure what day it comes out this week, but yeah, I think it's a good episode, and I think it's a really good product the content team's put together, and we'll try to get it back up and running as soon as possible. We're gonna have a little break here in Counter-Strike action, but I think it's a really good episode. I think people are gonna like it.
Personally, one of my favorites. So just a little bit of a tease. Stay tuned for that. Rocket League, we're back. The RLRS
Finally.
this Friday.
Finally, is right.
Yeah, it was a very long break. It felt. I don't know if it was longer than anything before, but it felt really, really long.
It's basically 5.5 months.
Of a break?
Yes.
My God.
Yeah.
I thought I was envisioning,
Been really long.
imagining things.
It's been insanely long.
yeah.
I think it
we're
doesn't
back.
help that previously it had like what 2 RLCS seasons per year, and they
still
were like
have that.
they were like but they were like almost back to back.
Yeah.
And now we have that like half a year break. But
Yeah. RLRS comes back. Our team with Magnus, Flakes, and Greasy have been practicing for like a month together. Ever since they qualified for Leipzig, they've been scrimming together. Magnus and Greasy obviously have a lot of ties to RLCS teams, so we're scrimming them very consistently. As far as I'm aware, it's going really well. We got a shout out last week, I think. I don't know from who.
I don't know which
One
team
RLCS team.
One RLCS team.
Their warm-up partner ditched, and so we jumped in, and Magnus gave us the title of best warm-up partner in the RLRS. So we got the first title of the season already on our belt.
There we go.
But yeah, it starts Friday. I think we play Method first. So the team Magnus was formerly on a year and a half ago. Yeah, I'm excited. I love Rocket League. I watched RLCS NA, RLCS Europe.
Yeah.
To get back into the groove of things, and now I'm hyped to watch it on Friday.
I think we all feel the same. I personally still very fondly remember that LAN event in London, so looking forward to climb back into the RLCS. We have a lot more stuff coming up this week as well. Fortnite World Cup qualifiers.
We're there.
We're there.
Yeah. Crazy.
Finally.
I mean, they haven't released like any patch in the last like 2 days. So we're really doing all right.
Fingers crossed.
Now,
Knock
they
on
did
wood.
announce that a previously announced feature is being rolled back, as they're not going to allow people to shoot through the balls anymore.
Yeah.
Not anatomically speaking, we're talking about the hamster balls. So it's going to be kind of interesting. Late game right now consists of everybody kind of just Spider-Manning around in these hamster balls. And the Fortnite community has been very vocal about how terrible they think the competitive late game scene is right now. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that being said, though, we've certainly had some kind of developments for us in Fortnite. We not only have our duo of Landjock and Punisher here locally, we have Hogman here locally, but not playing with Macwood. So a few days back, they actually split up, decided to go their separate directions. And it's always unfortunate that we have those kinds of things happen right before, but we do understand that players have certain needs, and we want to make sure that they're being able to, kind of give their best. And if they feel like it's just not working, sometimes you do have to make that break. And right now we've got Macwood that's going to be playing with Schmecht, and then of course Hogman has been trying out some people. I think he's been playing with Fuzzy most recently. So we're going to see how that goes for this weekend, because there's a lot on the line. $50,000 for qualifying
Crazy.
for an individual. I believe it's $100K for a duo.
Well, this weekend is just solo qualifiers for now anyway.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting to see because we've seen most of our players in duo action. But like you said, I mean, they're all very good in their own right, so I think this should be exciting. And then next week, going to be the duel. I actually like this format, like going from solo weekend to duo weekend. It's kind of nice.
Cool. I think it makes sense because you end up getting 5 or 6 days in which you're able to practice on that specific game mode. I think that's cool.
So definitely looking forward to that. Last weekend, we had another big tournament, the FUT Champions Cup in April.
Yeah, we had Jackson out in London, so that was pretty cool. I think when we brought Jackson on, I mean, he's ranked 3rd in the world for PlayStation, number 1 in the world for North America. We have high expectations of him, and he didn't do super hot in Singapore. You know, he placed well, but not like, you know, in the top 3 or anything over in London. So it's one of those things where we got to kind of work on with him and see what's going on. Did the meta kind of shift? But I think one of the concerns that we've seen from some support staff that we had on site was things like dealing with jet lag and making sure that as you're traveling, because it's an 8-hour time difference between California and London. I mean, it's not the biggest in the world, but it's pretty dang close. Making sure that people can recover from jet lag properly, especially for somebody like Jackson, that he's still within the first 18 months of his FIFA career. You know, he's learning kind of the things that the people around this table have learned over a number of years. You can't just go start sleeping whenever you want to. You got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself the proper way. Otherwise, you're going to be exhausted. And as we know, games like FIFA, they go really long. The day before, he had, 7 matches?
I think it's 6.
Six matches. And that day, you know, he didn't get enough sleep. Maybe he wasn't concentrated enough. He wasn't prepared enough. Whatever it was, he ended up losing the first match on the next day, goes out in top 8.
I'm very unfortunate because like he was actually really phenomenal in the Swiss.
Yes.
Even knocking out Moaba.
Yep.
Pretty stellar performance. But yeah, like you said, these things unfortunately do happen. But we'll look forward to see him back in action. And what's the next
3
event?
weeks. 3 weeks he goes back to
UK.
London. I think it's back in London, actually.
I thought he goes to Manchester. Yeah. It's basically the same, right?
I'm not. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Okay. It's the E League, Champions League. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, looking forward to that. Gonna have a talk with him, kind of walking him through the different methods of like jet lag. Even though I'm horrible at it as well, but I'm not expected to play. I'm just expected to kind of herd my cats.
Your method is just to never sleep.
That's true. It has served me well for 6 years.
That's what happens when you're a player manager. You just kind of adapt that skill. Yeah. You wake up in the middle of the night, it's like, oh no, what's wrong? Oh, nothing. Yeah. I'm going back to never mind. I don't sleep.
Actually, before we get to the Q&A, Blake, do you have anything to tease regarding HQ? It is coming up in what?
Yeah, I think we're a few weeks out here. Kyle and Andrew in particular have been extremely, extremely busy handling the 5,000 emails a week from all the different parties. No, we're really, really excited. And we think we've built something special. And we're pretty stoked to get in there and get the official ribbon cutting and grand opening and stuff behind us and getting back to work. We're very blessed to have the HQ that we're about to unveil to the fans and the community, but it's been a tremendous amount of work. Anytime you do something in this magnitude, it's inevitable that it's going to be a large distraction to all your other operations. The amount of time and energy and just hours and hours and hours, that have gone into this facility has been, quite significant. We consider it an investment in our future. So it's going to absolutely be worth it, but we're looking forward to having it over and being in the facility. So everyone should be watching for a lot more coverage and a lot more reveals surrounding our headquarters in the near future. We're pretty darn excited.
Awesome.
I think you can feel the atmosphere in the office already.
There's a little bit of buzz.
Yeah, I tweeted the other day. Remember when you're like 8 years old, 10 years old or whatever, and like your birthday's coming up or Christmas coming up, like you get really excited.
Yeah.
Like you kind of wake up and you're thinking about it. You kind of think about it before you go to bed. Like, really excited, you know. And as you get older, you get excited about fewer and fewer things. But yeah, I feel like a 8-year-old or a 12-year-old again with some really big occasion right around the corner. We're excited. It's going to be cool.
Like you said, stay tuned to our socials. We'll have lots of updates for you guys. So that'll be great. Q&A.
Yeah.
Q&A time. As always, make sure to tweet at us with #coLPC if you ever want to get your questions in. Or hit us up on Discord, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you can find us. Make sure to get your questions in. And yeah, maybe we'll get to answer them.
100%. We want questions. Like this show, press conference, is meant to be like maybe 50% quick updates and then 50% answering questions. We want to be the most transparent organization in esports, and we want to answer questions as openly as we humanly can at the time they're given. So if you like listening or watching the show, please fire off questions. We're happy to answer them.
All right. First question from one of our
variables. Long time.
Classic.
That's
Absolute
it.
classic.
I love variables questions because they often have retro
Like a throwback kind of
like he
aspect
remembers
of-
things not a
Right.
lot of the many, the new fans remember.
There's a perfect example of one.
Yep.
Will random acts of kindness or something similar be making a return?
Yeah, random acts of kindness, RAK, we'd call it RAK. Back in the day, man, 11 years ago, I believe,
For my time.
was kind of a social program we would do. And it was just, it was a charitable outreach. It was a program encouraging people, to express kindness. And it had many different facets over time. And I don't know if RAK itself will return by name, but we're definitely investigating a lot of different charitable outreach, both locally and, in a larger scale. compLexity was kind of a leader back in the day of integrating charitable outreach from the esports team side, where back in the day, a lot of teams were just fighting and, swimming hard to keep their head above water. And quite often we were one of them, but, we always felt it was important that we gave back. We had tsunami fundraisers, lots of different things we would do, including the RAK program, to try to integrate, some kind of charitable outreach with the reach that we had and that we have. And we're definitely researching similar things right now. I think, going back to the headquarters again, once we get that behind us and once we get in that facility, it's going to open up a lot of bandwidth for us to execute on those things. But yeah, I think the answer is yes. Something similar will definitely be making a return, and you'll see us engaging, more actively on the charitable side.
Mandeep from our Discord, also one of our fan elites. Just like Easy for Ents, should we make a compLexity song?
Only if Soren sings it.
No. So no.
So,
I guess it's a no.
we actually had a compLexity song that was made for us back in 2013. Clayster, one of his lifelong friends, was a musician and composed a song that he wanted us to use when we walked on stage.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I went to look for it a couple years ago, and the SoundCloud link was dead.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll got to reach out to Clayster and see if we can ever find that song again. But man, Easy for Ents,
song, huh?
I love
taking
that
over
song.
the Finnish
I
radio,
love that
dude.
song.
There you go.
I've always said I'm a little bit jealous of people like Ents that are they're the heroes of Finland, right? In the United States, there's so many different organizations that are vying for different space, and there can be different ones that are vying for a state or whatnot. But those that are the Maus, you're just you are Germany until Big came around. It's just really nice because then you have so many people that are just supporting that one
cool.
group. It's awesome. There's something unique to it.
Oh, definitely. I just want a music kit in the game.
Yeah.
A compLexity music kit. That'd be dope. Anyway, Oxy, also from Discord, also one of our fan elites. I guess this is more of a question for you, Beef. What would you say the average turnaround pay time for an event is? Prize pool. I know we've had our fair issues with tournaments not paying out, but
very, very few actually. We have issues with the only ones we traditionally have issues with are from China. For some reason, there are certain events in China that just take forever. Currently, we've said it publicly already. WCA, we are almost a year and a half late now. They're ignoring us, whatever. But for most most it's going to be 30 to 60 days. There are some, like ESL is like 90 days plus from the end of the tournament. They let you know. Most organizers are very good. When you sign up for an event these days, they have it spelled out. There are due dates. Maybe there's even penalties of interest or something if they haven't hit those yet. So it's a lot better than it was, say, like 5 or 6 years ago. That's for sure. I would say most are within 60 days.
That's good to hear. The fact that the industry has changed so positively in that aspect. Soren, going into Mumbai and Paris, how do you feel about the Dota team?
Very good. I don't think we've ever, with this squad, I don't think we've ever been more prepared. From the boot camp in Europe to Adam being here to having like a coach that goes through very different aspects of communications, of how learning works, of how we should draft and all that kind of stuff. I don't think I've ever been more confident with this group of people. There have been other groups that I've been equally confident, or, you know, our captain told me to be confident for everyone. Shout out to Kyle. But yeah, I think for Mumbai, we have a really good plan. We have a really good phase into it. And then I don't know, for Paris, there's like nine days in between. I don't know, like if land flu strikes us, if we have to take a couple of days off or something. But for the immediate tournament, I feel very confident.
Yeah, especially going to India, it does worry me a little bit that it's like, you know, you always hear kind of like horror stories of India, like you ate the wrong street food or something, and you're just like,
yeah, we're not going to eat terrible.
Exactly. Like, it's good that ESL is putting us up in a really nice hotel. Hopefully nobody's going to like get bitten by some weird insect or get malaria or like have something go wrong. Like, let's keep it kosher, you know?
Like how we jump from food poisoning to malaria.
I mean, I don't know what's going on, man. But yeah.
So for Mumbai, that was one of our concerns, obviously, and that was a concern of other people too. But ESL basically put us up in a really, really nice hotel. The group stage is going to be played from there. They're going to provide transport from basically the front door of the hotel to the back door of the venue. So you basically never have to be without AC, you never have to be really outside if you don't want to. And one of our players has spent some time in India, and that was kind of the thing that pushed him over the top, saying, okay, we can go back to India, because he had those horror stories. He didn't really, find good food. He had food poisoning. He was not really happy, being outside in a very humid, hot climate. But yeah, once we showed him pictures of the hotel, of the venue, and obviously it was ESL, and as Jason alluded to, I think 3 weeks ago, ESL does their events very, very good.
Yep.
So I'm very confident. I'm looking forward to the hotel and to Mumbai as a tournament. I don't know how much I will be seeing from the city. As I will be traveling with the team, I will also try to not get sick.
I mean, it's really the typical esports thing, right? Everybody thinks, esports is such a cool life. You get to travel so much. But yeah, you get to see different hotels around the world. Congrats.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about going to Mumbai, and I wanted to go to the event in Paris, but with HQ and everything that's going on, I've decided to bypass them. We've just got too many moving parts, and we're too close to the grand opening. But wish the guys luck, and I know they've been working hard.
Definitely been putting in the hours.
Dude, I walked over into the office the other day, and Kips had drawn out a diagram of the brain.
Oh, that was biology class yesterday.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is next level. We're just studying the different parts
Kips
of the brain.
Is the coach.
Yeah, Kips went over how you basically learn, how you can you go from like it was like slacking off in scrims and kind of fostering the wrong habits. That was kind of the counteraction to that. Not that we've slacked off in scrims yet, but kind of like counteract that instinct or something. Like sometimes you play an opponent that you might not respect as much as another one, and you tend to do wonky drafts. You tend to just like not be crisp on your rotations. Your communication is just off. And she was trying to explain to the people how that is counteractive by explaining like the brain functions and how brain like patterns and all that kind of stuff, repetitive things actually get built into your brain, and it's very hard to break them. So yeah, there's currently on our whiteboard a beautiful drawing of a brain. If you flip the whiteboard, there's like little cells and all that stuff. It was biology class yesterday.
Right.
Wow.
Should have attended that too.
Did you learn the mitochondria as the powerhouse of the cell?
I wasn't part of the class. I had to work.
Another question for Dota, I guess, is both of you guys. How do you guys feel about the growing NA scene? Oxy also did provide context. You know, there's been the NADCL or whatever from Peter, PPD.
Which is no longer going on.
Which is no longer going on, but he's been hosting it for like, what, 3 seasons, I think?
3 seasons.
Or 2 seasons?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to go over this super quickly. I mean, any time that you're able to strengthen the scene, we've seen something like Counter-Strike in North America is probably at the strongest that it's ever been right now, and that's awesome. You know, the rising tide raises everybody, whatever that phrase is. It's great to be able to have stronger competition, and right now there's a lot of international competition in North America, really good. Yeah, I'd just like to see some more stability in the space. Make sure that these teams are, you know, committed here long term, and you know, I think it's gonna be great for everybody involved.
I know you kind of alluded to it already before with Hearthstone, but just a quick, you know, how do you think is the specialist format going to affect our players? Let's just focus on like
our players.
Yeah,
I
Casey
think
and Tyler.
Casey is very confident in it. Casey is like the kind of guy that he gets a new format. He sees like openings somewhere, and he's gonna, you know, exploit them, for lack of a better word. And obviously he's a rogue expert. Tyler is one of the players that doesn't really have a class as much as the other people. Tyler just plays whatever is broken at the time. Like he jammed Shaman when it was broken. He played Quest Rogue when it was good. He plays whatever is good. And Casey is kind of, I think, a very underrated part of our team that kind of walks them through like what is the lineup, because he plays an absurd amount in practice groups and tries out an absurd amount of cards and different variations. And I think the specialist format is going to enable that a lot better. How it's going to look in the end, I don't know. If it might be making it more boring with just 2 classes being there, or it might be making it more interesting with people like Fibonacci being allowed to play Warrior in every tournament, or, you know, Casey playing Rogue.
We'll see.
We'll see. As Kyle said earlier, time will tell. And then the last question from the day from CIA, Jason, how do you evaluate one of your teams on a global level when the depth of the region isn't necessarily that high? If they do well within their region but bad on a global scale, is a top 20-ish sort of like rank, is that good enough? I think this was more in the context of Dota, but I think this applies to both Dota, CS, or any game really.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We're a tier 1 esports organization, so we're always aiming for, you know, top placements on the global level. I mean, I think, like Kyle said, anytime you're the best in your region or whatever that might be, yeah, sure, that's a feather in your cap, but that's not the goal. Top 20 is not the goal. No. Top 10 is the goal. You know, top 3 preferably in every game that we field, and we compete globally. So I think if you're gaining traction in your region, whether it's Counter-Strike, Dota, or whatever the game is, that's a good thing, and that's a healthy sign. But it should be a given, and the goal is international placements, not just regional.
Yeah, I don't think it's a goal, but it's kind of like a springboard, because all of esports is kind of regionalized in their qualifiers. So you need to be good in your region in order to even play the good teams from Europe, from Southeast Asia, or whatever. And without that, if you just stay in if you're top 4 or something in North America, you're never going to make it to a major. Like you're just that perennial team that never gets to play against the Chinese teams, that gets to play against the OGs or liquids of the world. And then it's obviously not enough, but just to be on that stage, to learn and have the competition to improve is important, to be good in your region.
I think the public also overestimates the amount of time that we as esports organizations are sitting there looking at the global rankings or something like that. We're much more concerned with, you know, hey, is this person able to consistently hold this headshot angle where they weren't able to before? Or, hey, how's our mid-game shot calling going in our team fighting ability? Those are the things that we're more paying attention to, because we're striving to make progress. The difference between global rank 11 and 10 for us, it doesn't really matter. I much more care so do we think we're improving the tools that we have to go out there and hoist trophies.
Absolutely.
I think that wraps it up very beautiful.
That's a wrap up. And thanks for watching, everybody, or listening. Leave us comments. We do go back and check them out, and want to continue to improve the show. So let us know what you think and what you'd like to see more of, less of. Appreciate you watching. Peace.